Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I don't know if I have my mic. Yeah, I do have my mic. Okay, good. How's everybody today? I hope you're well. The website must be horrible. So I hope everybody's okay and not too much interfered with the weather. Um, so we'll talk football. So I'm trying to do two separate videos: economics, football. Just to get mostly if you want to know what inflation is, you got to watch a 3-hour video. Good luck finding it. But if I title the video, "What is inflation?" then you'll find out. So I'm going to do like maybe 10 on topics that are critical, that are like gold. What is it? What's paper gold? So you can get it. And then as football winds down, it'll be more a combination sports with economics. But the key topics I want to get out there by themselves because nobody can understand inflation. I don't know why it's so difficult. You printed too much fucking money. I was watching something when I was working out. I'm on my bike and they got CNN on, which I can't stand. And they're talking about inflation and they're talking about the CPI. And I'm like, they don't even know what it is. It's got nothing to do with prices. You've inflated the money supply, making the money worth less. So it seems like the prices are more, but the prices are only more to get the same amount of money you were getting because the money's worth less. Got nothing to do with prices. It's got everything to do with the money supply. Like I said, if Coca-Cola is now $3.50 for a 2-liter and nobody buys it, inflation didn't come down. The market talked and said, that's too much. I mean, how is that inflation? It's not. Prices going down because of no demand is free market. All right. So with that said, let's talk football. Oh, and the good news, I heard from Daria this morning on email. Her WhatsApp is not working. Mine is. She's in Russia. Maybe it's a Russian thing. I don't know. But she's going to go to the store tomorrow to check it out. But we had talked last week. She was having problems with it. And I says, if it goes out, just email me because then I'm sure the email will work. And it did. So she sent me an email. And I said, okay, great. Because I was so worried. But the ironic part is, I told you yesterday I didn't want to do I didn't hear from her in 3 days, and I couldn't understand it. I mean, as close as we were for the holiday, I said, but I don't want to teach her the same lesson. Like, okay, you try to go 3 days without hearing from me, you'll freak out. So I didn't want to do that to her. It's not fair. It's not right. But indirectly, I did because she says, I'm not receiving your messages. So she must have went a couple of days without getting my messages. I'm going tomorrow. We'll try to get it fixed. And again, she gave me the email. Again, I was stoic. I was thinking ahead going, well, if this doesn't work, the email will. And we'll just use email for the time being. But I don't know what's going on. Why WhatsApp? Their phone works. Her email works. Her internet, just a WhatsApp problem. So not really stirred, but she'll go tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be back on. It's much easier. Because I don't know when she emails me, but I can see when I get a message on WhatsApp. Anyway, everything's fine. I feel much, much better. All right, so let's go to the line. Let's talk football. Your free pick is Kansas City plus 8.5 in a teaser. I got them in 2 teasers. You got Mahomes as a dog. I don't know what else you need to say. Josh Allen, troublesome, but we'll see. All right, Baltimore, 9.5, 43.5. The line has not moved. The weather's 20 miles an hour and winds has gone down. It was up to 23. I'm hoping for a 15. Now, the problem in this game is trusting Lamar. Can you trust Lamar? He's only won one playoff game, and he's choked in a bunch. So I don't trust him fully, but Stroud I can't trust because he's never been in the playoffs before, and all I can say is the Michigan games where he choked twice. So I really don't know what to say about him until let's see what he does here. He wins this big game. Love, I don't trust that much, but he did go to Dallas and win, which, again, I don't know how big a deal it is. With Prescott in the playoffs, you know you're going to lose there. The Niners, 9.5, 50.5. I thought my cough was done. I haven't coughed all day. 9.5, 50.5 at the Niners. Purdy against Love. I think this will be high scoring. I think this coach is one of those Shanahan disciples. Shanahan's the head coach of the Niners, but his dad was at Washington. So it's Shanahan Jr. for the Niners, and then this guy from Green Bay, whatever his name is, and they're both the same. So it's the same offense. So Frisco will know how to defend it, but Green Bay will know how to defend it if you can defend it. But I think this is still high scoring. I'm not – obviously, Green Bay with the Frisco with a much better defense than Green Bay. So if you're just betting defense, you got to bet the Niners. I don't like the 3.5. So some guy last week asked me about trap numbers, which I've never heard a line called the trap line. Like 7.5, 10.5, 3.5. So I don't look at it as a trap number. I look at it as a bad number. Like, I don't want anything to do with the Niners minus 3.5. Now, if this went to 8.5, I'd go 2.5. I might like it. I might like the Green Bay and 15.5, provided they can score like they did on Dallas on the Niners. And I don't like betting against the Niners at home. So we will see. Detroit 6.5, 48.5. Line hasn't moved. And Buffalo 2.5, 45.5. The line hasn't moved. Actually, I thought I saw 3 when I went through everything. Yeah, there's a 3 at PB and a 3 at whoever the hell this is. Bet Rivers and Peanut Butter and Jelly are both 3. So I'm going to make it 3. Keep it simple for us. And 45.5. You got to take Mahomes as a dog. It's all there is to it. You're getting 9. So on the one hand, that trap line of 7.5, we turn it this way. We go, I get more than 7 in this teaser. I get 9. So yes, it's nice getting more than the 7. As far as that goes, I mean, that's just obvious. You want to get under 3 and over 7 and under 7 because they score in 3 and 7s. All right. So that's your spreads. Now let's go to the weather. We've got Houston, Baltimore. 2 receivers on Houston are questionable, Woods and Mechie. Neither one are any good. I don't know why nobody's taking Nico Collins away. Just incredibly bad coaching. Baltimore seems all healthy. Flowers was questionable. Now he's not. Bateman and Beckham. Beckham's terrible. Flowers and Lamar. 25 degrees, sunny, and 18 miles an hour. Well, that's good. It's down from 20. So now this is making, as long as it keeps going down, I like the game over. Green Bay and the Niners. Green Bay, Aaron Jones, Watson, and Reed questionable. I think they'll all play. I didn't see anybody really get hurt in the game. Watson's been fighting the hamstring, but I don't know why it's questionable when they played last week, and you know they're going to play. Everybody out in Frisco is good. We got 57 and 11-mile-an-hour winds, up from 9, so it's getting a little more windy there, but not terrible. Should be a great game. 57, chance of rain. It's Frisco. Tampa and Detroit's in a dome. The only questionable is Godwin of the offensive starters. And then KC, Buffalo, we've got 23 degrees, 14-mile-an-hour winds, and that really hasn't changed. So you're off the lake. Mahomes showed you in zero weather. He's the master. Tony for KC's questionable. I doubt he'll be back next year. He's terrible. And Buffalo, Gabe Davis. I don't know if that's a big deal or not. I don't know who he is. So that's your weather. So you got a 14-mile-an-hour in Buffalo and 11-mile-an-hour there in Frisco, which is nothing. And now Baltimore's 18-mile-an-hour. And nowhere it's what? 23 degrees in Buffalo. This is without wind chill. And then it's 57, obviously, in Frisco. And then 25 in Baltimore. So nothing is like we had in Kansas City last week where it was like 20 below. And Miami gets out. It's hysterical. Of all games that are like really cold, it's Miami's. Excuse me while I eat my lunch. So, what do we know? Houston's an E team. They don't score a lot. They score mid-20s, give up 22. Baltimore's an A team. They score about 30, give up 20. Really good defense. Over under 43. Baltimore laying 9.5. My spread was Baltimore -7. Stroud against Lamar. Lamar, 24 touchdowns, 7 picks. Stroud was 23-5 before last week. I think he threw a couple touchdowns. I'd say he's 25-5, whatever. Lamar with only 24 touchdowns because he runs a lot, but he has 7 interceptions. This offense looks really good because it's the Georgia offense. Let's give credit where it's due. The Georgia offensive coordinator shows up in Baltimore. I can't believe he leaves Georgia. It's just heartbreaking. So who's the better quarterback? I have no idea. Lamar's not good in the playoffs. Stroud wasn't good against Michigan, didn't win anything in college. So you're looking at two guys that haven't really won anything. Lamar did nothing in college, and then he's been in the pros, 5-6 years. One playoff win against a very banged-up Tennessee team, and then he lost the next week. He can't beat a good defense, but he's lucky Houston doesn't have a good defense. Tasty chicken. So, what do we do here? It's in the 20s with 18-mile-an-hour wind. I'm not sure if it's going across the field or going down from goal line to goal line. This we're not sure of. How much is it going to matter? Only on a long pass will it matter, which will hurt Houston more than Baltimore because Lamar can't throw it long. Let's do a score. Baltimore 31 and Houston 20. How about that? 31-20 Baltimore. Stroud gets a little bit. I think the Baltimore defense steps up. I think Lamar, because of the Georgia coordinator, has a little bit better game. I think they win this game only because Houston's so weak that, okay, Baltimore gets an easy one, but I will not be playing them against Kansas City. Give me Lamar against Buffalo or Kansas City. I'm taking Buffalo or Kansas City. But Houston's really kind of the weak link. Not really sure how they're even in the playoffs. But okay. I think Lamar can handle this team. And I'm betting Baltimore's defense to shut down Stroud. Okay, they've seen his act. Okay, he did score against Cleveland. I don't know. They couldn't cover. I don't understand the defense that can't find the weak spot and then or find their strong point and take it away. And yet Cleveland let Nico Collins go all over the place. So I'm going to go 31-20 Baltimore. Green Bay and the Niners. Let's go 34-24 the Niners. Love against Purdy. Purdy's 31-11 touchdowns, interceptions. Love is 32-11 before last week's games. Love has to show me here. Okay, at Dallas, you showed me. You got, you looked good. This is the Niners. This is a team with pretty good coaching. Much better than Dallas. So I do think the Niners, I think the Packers score in this game. But the one thing, the difference in the game is Dallas doesn't have a running attack or a quarterback, and the Niners do. Purdy's so much better than Prescott, and then McCaffrey is so much better than Pollard. It's not even close. You've got CeeDee Lamb for Dallas. Oh, by the way, you got Deebo Samuel, Kittle, and Ayuk for the Niners. So much more weapons, and they'll be able to run the ball down Green Bay's throat, which Dallas could not do. And the Niner defense you don't fuck with. Dallas has Micah Parsons. The Niners have a boatload. So I think they won't be able to stop the Niners, and they won't be able to score like they did on, they're not going to get 2 pick sixes the way Dak laid it out for them. So I got 34-24. I think this will be a high-scoring game. Absolutely. So we have 2 high-scoring games. We got Baltimore scores a lot, 30 points. The Niners score a lot. Green Bay scores a lot. I don't think the Niners are shut them out, and there's certainly the Packers that aren't going to stop the Niners. At home, maybe a little rain, maybe not. Tampa Bay, Detroit. We got Mayfield against Goff. Mayfield is a 28-10, and Goff is 30-12. Had a good first half against the Rams last week and didn't show up in the second half. So Goff playing golf ball. They shouldn't have won the game. Pass interference clearly on the Packy thing. Hey, Dr. Football. Clearly pass interference on Puka Nuka, and they didn't call it. And they said, he's going for the ball. Oh, wait. So now I can tackle the receiver, and my excuse is I'm going for the ball, and that's legal now? Oh, when did pass interference change? You can't touch the receiver. You can go for the ball, but you can't knock the receiver down to go for the ball. So very bad roughing. What else is new, right? This is probably the worst this league's ever looked, between the terrible defensive coaches, the terrible offenses, the terrible refereeing, and let's go for a commercial when there's we're looking at the play or an injury. I mean, it's pathetic. It's very hard to watch. A lot of lousy teams. You're getting a few good ones, which you're getting here. Baltimore, the Niners, Kansas City, Buffalo. That's about it. Houston, Tampa, and Detroit, courtesy of weak schedules. Because if you notice, Houston and Tampa are both in their south, where there was absolutely pathetic teams, and Detroit got a break because nobody was good in the NFC Central. and they they had the worst schedule I've ever seen. We're saying how good they are. We beat Carolina. We beat Atlanta. Oh my God, look how good we are. All right, so here, Tampa, the under team, 23 defense, not very good. Detroit's an over team. They score 30, give up 27. They're misleading because if you just look at their stats, it's like 22-23. But when you break out the high school teams, the Tampas, the Carolinas, and that, and you just go against the better teams, and I'm talking Green Bay and Chicago, who are lighting them up. All of a sudden, San Diego lit them up, Baltimore lit them up, Seattle lit them up. All of a sudden, and then the games with Jefferson getting 200 yards each game, and then C.D. Lamb getting 200 yards, and they couldn't even stop him. All of a sudden, you realize the secondary is terrible. It's toast. But Tampa doesn't really have a way to get it. Now, when they play Green Bay will beat Detroit if they play, and the Niners will beat Detroit if they play them. Detroit won't be able. The secondary just is their weak point. Strong offense, strong offensive line, good running balance with the receiving. So we got what? We got 6.5, 48. Let's pick a score here. Detroit 27, Tampa 17. That's a 44. So it's probably I'm a bit reluctant to go take the over in the game because I don't think Tampa can score. As weak as the Lions defense is, Tampa doesn't really have the receivers to do anything. I watched the Philly game. I saw 5 drops. Mike Evans has a touchdown. He drops it. There's nobody there. He drops it. Like they're not even concentrating. Mayfield never impressed me. They should be playing Trask. I don't understand that. Terrible coaching on Tampa. I don't see how Tampa can win the game. So I'm more comfortable with Detroit and a half. Yes, but this is a bad team. So I think Detroit at home can win the game because I don't think Tampa's offense can really hurt them. But then it all ends here. Detroit can't beat either Green Bay or Frisco because of their offenses. Tampa doesn't have a running attack. Mayfield's average at best, and then you got Evans dropping balls and Godwin. So I'm not big on Tampa, and their defense doesn't scare me. And Detroit at home, emotional, again, another weak team with the weak quarterback. Detroit's been beating these teams. So I think Detroit wins fairly easy by at least 10. They seem to get – it's like a college game. They seem to get emotional, and then they go and go and go. And in the Ram game last week, they got emotional in the first half and came out dead in the second half and was very lucky on that pass interference call where they don't win it. I was hoping for the Rams to win, but it's all right. I won. I had the over in the game. I barely got there. KC Buffalo. We got Mahomes 27-14 last week. I haven't updated those stats, but don't need to. And Josh Allen 29-18. You can see Josh Allen, a lot of interceptions. 29, and he's throwing 18 interceptions. He's the problem. He wants to run too much, doesn't really let Cook run. It's the only team I've seen that doesn't hand the ball off to a running back. Mahomes isn't stupid. He gets down, he slides. So he knows. I remember he hurt his knee in that quarterback sneak. He doesn't do that anymore. So Mahomes, this is where excellence comes in. He will outthink Buffalo. He will take what they give him. Let's go 23-20 Kansas City. I'm not even sure Buffalo gets to 20. But that's about right. I think at the end they'll score and make it close. But I got KC winning the game 23-20. Over under 46. I don't understand that at all. That's way high. you're playing in, okay, the wind's not too bad. You're playing in 20-mile-an-hour winds, 20 mile an hour. We're not counting the wind chill. Well, it's a big difference if it's 20 out there, no wind, and wind making, there's 14-mile-an-hour winds, and we know it's off the lake. So, but Mahomes just proved it last week, playing in 35 below zero, and he was hitting receivers right and left. They're the better team. They got the better team from a defense standpoint. Their defense is better. Mahomes is better. Pacheco can run. Cook's okay. He's from Georgia, so I give him credit. Kelsey will find the opening. I'm not sure what Buffalo has from receivers. I do like the guy from Utah there, Kincaid. He was good at Utah. So, yeah, I got 23-20. Basically even on defense, 21-20 roughly the last 7 weeks. So we take the dog, whoever it is in this game. These type of games, when they're really the clash of the Titans, you take the dog. And it's worked pretty much all the time. We had it in college 3 times. We had Oklahoma over Texas at one, and we got Oregon over Washington in the first one that won. And then we had, I think there's another one. We didn't play Alabama, Georgia, because I thought Georgia was better. But the second one, Washington beat Oregon. I was a 10-point dog. The dogs are usually, if you have a live dog like we had here, or Oklahoma, Texas, where what you're saying is the dog, it's a pick 'em game, the dog can easily win, I'm going to take the points because I feel that the game will be close. And I certainly have a team, I think Oklahoma won, and Oregon should have won, but they kept going for 4th downs like they're automatic and didn't get them, but they only lost by 3. So, KC, you got Mahomes, and that's the bottom line. You're going to bet Mahomes as a dog, and you just say thank you. I mean, that's what it is. So, Baltimore 31-20, I feel is about right. I think Lamar will have enough. He'll be flat in the first half because now he's been off 3 weeks. And I think it's the stupidest thing to sit him out in week 18. I think what I would do if I'm the coach, and I'm trying to win the Super Bowl, and I got Lamar, I got Mahomes, they're playing the first half. They're getting ready. They're playing the first quarter enough to keep their timing and momentum, and then I'm pulling up. I'm not trying to win, but I don't want my stud to go 3 weeks without playing. Because if you sit him out then, and then you got the bye, that's 2 weeks, and now it's going to be 3 weeks since Lamar played. And Lamar ain't good enough to sit out 3 weeks. So it's going to be a little bit tough in the first quarter for Baltimore. Houston will probably grab the lead. But then overall, I think after halftime, Baltimore will turn it up. The weather, 18-mile-an-hour winds now, will bother Stroud more because he throws the ball deeper to Collins. I think Harbaugh will take Collins away, but these defenses are so stupid. All they do is play this deep 2-man, 2-deep zone, and everybody just runs crossing patterns over, and the guys are wide open, and it's, third and I've never seen so many 3rd and 20s converted because there's nobody. They're all playing this deep zone, but they don't cover anybody. What's the point of playing a deep zone, and then when the guy crosses in front of you, you just let him go? So you're giving these guys 20-yard patterns. It's insane. Worst defense I've ever seen being played now. Terrible defensive coordinators. You blitz. 3rd and 20, you blitz. You don't give Lamar a chance. You don't. You just get at – if you blitz him and you get him, how's he going to throw a 20-yard pass? There was a Lion game against Baltimore a couple years ago when the guy made a 60-something yard field goal. And it was like first down, they blitzed Lamar, incompletion. Second down, they blitzed Lamar, and they sacked him. Third down, they blitzed Lamar, and he just threw it away. So now it's 4th and 29 or something at their own 25. They don't blitz, and he completes a 30-yard pass. And you're like, why would you not blitz 4th down when it's been working so effectively? So that's my point. You want to beat these guys, you blitz them. It's not hard. You're not giving them time because the zone doesn't work, and you don't have good enough DBs because they're all injured to play man-on-man. And it's hard to play Lamar man-on-man because then you turn your back and he runs. So it's basically your only option is really to blitz. It's like such a lost art all of a sudden that nobody knows how to blitz and get to the quarterback. And, but if you take his time away from him, he can't, even if he does, he's just going to throw it away. He's under pressure. All right. Welcome to the new NFL. We don't blitz. We play our prevent zone every play. And by the way, everybody catches 20-yard passes on us. And every team does the same fucking thing. It's just, it's hard to watch teams that are so bad. All right. So we've got that one. Green Bay, Frisco. It's going to be hard for Purdy the first quarter because he's now been out 3 weeks. 34-24. Green Bay's defense, I think. See, the key and the big difference, as I stated, between Frisco and Dallas is they got McCaffrey. And you can throw a little pitch to him, and you can run him down their throats, and there's nothing Green Bay is going to do. So it's a totally different game. Frisco will possess the ball. Frisco can score in the red zone because you can give the ball to Purdy. You've got to have a good running back to win because you've got to score in the red zone running the ball. You can't throw the ball in the red zone. There's no room. As whatchamacallit did last week, the Rams found out 3 field goals and they lose by a point, and they didn't run their guy. So anyway, I think the Rams were the better team in that game. Anyway, so the Niners, I got 34-24. It just feels like they should be able to score on the Niners, and they should be able to shut them down with this very strong defense. These are the best defenses. Baltimore, the Niners, Buffalo, and Kansas City are really the top defenses in the league with Dallas. So surprised Dallas didn't move up, but KC surprises you because their defense is very, very strong, but you don't look at KC as a strong defensive team. You look at them as Mahomes. But this year they've switched and got this really strong defense. That's why they didn't get the wide receivers. They were busy collecting defensive talent, and they're very, very strong. And then that's what you have is this strong defense with Mahomes, unlike the strong defense with Lamar. It's much better. Hey, Greg and John, how are you? So the Niners 34-24. I think you can go over. I think it's hard to – if we can get an 8.5, we'll take the Niners. At this point, I think you could take Green Bay in the 15.5 and hope it stays close. Again, you can't assume they're going to do what they did to Dallas because they have a coach and they have a quarterback and they have a running back that Dallas doesn't have. Dak Prescott, look at his numbers. He's 36-9. But last week he threw, 2 picks? And he's just – and he threw the ball that were uncatchable to, like, CeeDee Lamb in the first quarter. He was throwing them so hard, CeeDee Lamb wasn't even ready for him. And, you got to throw your passes that the guys can catch. There's no point in throwing them so hard like Elway used to do. He'd throw them so hard nobody could catch him. It's like, dude, slow it down. And I know they're going through that. Hey, Nick. Great week for 10-point teasers. Yeah, I'd say so. Kansas Niners in Baltimore. And then you can counter that with over in the Green Bay game. And I don't know, maybe over in Baltimore, and then maybe Detroit in 3.5, or Detroit. I don't know which way to go, over under on Detroit. They're so unpredictable. But yeah, I think the first one's the best. Baltimore, Frisco, and Kansas City getting 12.5, but the best game on the board. Anytime you can get Mahomes and more than and not have to give points, it's a great play. Niners, Ravens, Green Bay. You don't want to take Kansas City in 12.5? Are you out of your mind? This is Mahomes we're talking about. You think Baltimore is going to beat him by more than 2 touchdowns, huh? Wow. So I know you didn't enjoy the football game. Philadelphia lost, but we did get the over at the end, so that made it enjoyable. Did you see Bobby there? Was Bobby barbecuing in the parking lot for you? Well, they're more of a defensive team. But look at him last week. He 35 below didn't seem to be a problem. Although I do like the Green Bay over, basing it on what we saw last week against Dallas. But as I said, McCaffrey's going to run it down their throats, and Purdy's so much better than Prescott. It's not funny. But I like Kansas. That's your free play. Kansas City and the 8.5 is plenty. They'll win the game. I got them winning 23-20. You can't take the fact he's won 2 Super Bowls out of play. You can't. He's still got Kelsey and this strong defense, and we know Josh Allen with 19 interceptions, 29-18. And what was their score last week? 31-17 over Pittsburgh with, what was it, with Mason Rudolph. I don't know how you see Buffalo blowing out Kansas City with Josh Allen. It's never going to happen. Like I said, I'll take Mahomes as a dog, just like I would take Brady as a dog. They don't have the receivers they usually do, which is what you're looking at. And I'm saying, but their defense is very strong. Mahomes can do what he can do, and he'll hit Kelsey, and they'll run Pacheco, and they'll be fine. He'll win the game for you because that's what Mahomes does. So, yeah, he doesn't look as strong because their defense is super strong. But I don't see Buffalo and Josh Allen. Here comes 2 picks from him. He's like Prescott. Yeah, I do like KC. Mahomes, I know he doesn't seem the same as last year, but he is there. Greg John, TK, do you like the KC to win it all? I think Frisco will win it all. If I have to choose now, I think it's Frisco. We know Lamar is going to choke. I don't think Lamar can beat Kansas City because of the defense is just too strong, and Mahomes will find a way. Lamar's a choke. Mahomes isn't. And that's crucial in the playoffs. That's what you're looking at. That's how I rank quarterbacks. You guys don't understand me. You guys like the way Tug throws the ball, or you like the way certain quarterback throws a smooth. Oh, look, he hit it. Look at Stroud hit a guy for 15 yards. Look at it. He's such a good quarterback. That isn't what I'm talking about. If it's a good quarterback is Mahomes and Burrow because they win these games. And you're forgetting Mahomes beat Burrow last year, Nick. So you've got to understand Mahomes looks fine to me. That's not the problem. Their receivers suck. And Tony drops them all. You're going to blame Mahomes for that? I don't blame Mahomes at all, but he's winning, okay, he had a tough game at Denver, beat San Diego, beat Oakland. I don't have any problem. They raise it a notch for the playoffs, right? And I know Andy Reid's a choke normally, but I look at the quarterback now. This is Dak Prescott. He sucks. Forget what his numbers are. In a playoff game, he doesn't show up, right? Tagliavua in a playoff game doesn't show up. Lamar in a playoff game normally doesn't show up. We don't know what Stroud does. We only know he choked against Michigan twice in a row. We've got Love. We have no idea. We've got Purdy. We have very little. He did win a couple games, then got hurt last year. I feel pretty comfortable with him. Mayfield doesn't do anything. He beat Ohio State once, and golf choked in college, choked in the pros, choked in the Super Bowl. He's a choke, so I can't really have faith that he's going to do anything. And then you got Mahomes and Allen, and Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls, been to a third. Only Tom Brady could beat him. And here's Josh Allen who chokes, who's never really won anything. So, I mean, that's how I look at a quarterback. Are you going to make money betting him? Joe Montana, absolutely. Brady, yes. Aaron Rodgers, sometimes. Drew Brees, absolutely. That's Peyton Manning. No, Peyton Manning always choked in the big games. So that's what you base it on. Do I think Mahomes is going to win this game? And how can you say no when he's got 2 Super Bowls? Or Joe Burrow. If this is Joe Burrow, I'd be betting on him. He won a national title. He got into the Super Bowl, should have beat the Rams. He's Joe Burrow. I mean, those are who you want to bet on. And hopefully he's not hurt next year. Costs us a lot of money when he's sitting out. We got to bet on the other idiot. But Allen hasn't won anything. Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls. I'm betting Mahomes. That's where it matters. That's where I say I like the quarterback. That's what you're looking for, not, Stroud, had a good game against Georgia, but they lost, or had a good game against Cleveland last week. Well, fine. Now you're going to Baltimore. Now let's see you have a good game and beat Lamar. I'm still going to bet Kansas City this week and next week, and depending what the spread is in the Super Bowl. If they're the dog against the Niners, then I will bet them. But it's going to be tough to beat the Niners. And the Niners will show you how to beat Green Bay, called defense. So, Doctor, like KC at 5.5, but I think Buffalo. Well, I don't care who wins. As long as it's close. That's speculation. I think KC wins because they know how to win, and they got Mahomes. You want to bet Allen? Go ahead, but I think it's a close game, so I'm taking the dog, and I get 8.5 with whoever. If KC was favored, I would take Buffalo in 8.5 as a home dog, but Buffalo hasn't beaten KC in the playoffs, so I'm not about to start betting against Mahomes. Where's Bobby? Bobby knows. Hoping Niners win it all. Love Purdy and McCaffrey, both winners. Yeah, I mean, you can't get trapped in the Green Bay Dallas game. I mean, look at you got the coach sucks. Prescott is terrible, and the Pollard looks terrible. I can't believe he's their running back. But when you look at the Niners, and you got a much better coach, although he still has problems finishing the game, and then you have Purdy, who's so much better than Prescott, and you've got McCaffrey, who's so much better than Pollard. I mean, it's really not close. So how's Green Bay going to deal with this offense? That's the point. All Dallas did. This is how stupid Dallas is. They ran it up the middle on 1st and 2nd down for no yards. It looked like Pollard just closed his eyes, and he ran into 5 guys. He didn't try to bounce it out. And it was 3rd and long, and then Prescott would throw his incompletions. And they're down 27-0 thanks to his pick sixes. So you must understand that. So that made it a lot easier for Green Bay. They're not going to get that against the Niners. You are not stopping McCaffrey. Now had it been reversed and they beat Frisco, okay, they're going to beat Dallas. But not in this situation. Beating Dallas is meaningless because they're they're like beating Miami. They're a choke team, right? So you beat a choke team, you don't really win anything. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston beat Baltimore because of Lamar. He's so bad. And this is why I say Lamar is bad. In the playoffs, the guy doesn't show up because the defenses are bigger and faster, and he can't run. He's got the Georgia offensive coordinator, which I give him help on, and they've been scoring a lot. They scored a lot on the Niners. They scored a lot in a few other games. So we'll give them credit for the Niner win here. It's like a fucking golf ball, these avocado pits. I think it says Titleist on it. So this is what you've got to look at what's happened. And the only quarterback in here that isn't a choke, maybe Purdy, is Mahomes. And we got Stroud and Love. We have no idea. Love did nothing in college. Stroud did nothing in college. He lost a few big games to Michigan. He lost to Georgia. You know, I hate when people say, well, look at the stats. I don't care about the stats. Look at the game. Did they win? No. Then shut the fuck up about stats. I don't care. Stats don't mean anything. Look at Prescott last week, throw for 360 yards. Yeah, and he also had 2 pick sixes, or a pick six and a pick at the 10-yard line. So look at his stats, and they don't mean anything. They fucking lost by 16 points. So you want to look at Prescott's stats? They were down 27-0. So it's a bunch of garbage stats. So I don't like the people that look at the stats that think that that's meaningful. The only thing that matters is, did you win, and your touchdowns to interceptions. I don't care about any other stats. They're all meaningless. Dr. Football, I have KC an 8.5 already paired with Houston plus 15.5. Okay. I'm probably going to lay off of the Houston, and I like the over in the game, I think, more than I like that. It's a low over, but I'm waiting on the wind. The wind's gone from 20-some mile an hour to 18, and we're at Thursday, I think. And so let's see Saturday what the wind's at, and that'll determine if I'm betting the over. I like the over, but I need 15-mile-an-hour winds to do it. You cannot throw the ball very well in 25-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm waiting on that game. I think the Niners over is gold because I think Green Bay will score something. And Tampa, I think, is – I don't even know why they're in the playoffs. So I don't trust Mayfield. I certainly don't trust Goff. I'm so sick of these phone calls. Yeah, do you have car insurance? Like, fuck off. That's none of your business. Or the police looking for money. Yeah, I'm the state of Michigan police. Well, go fuck into the governor. You get paid on taxes. Stop digging for tips. So I block so many people after I hear these sales calls. You have to bet Mahomes here. And then it's, Love showed enough. I mean, they still scored 48 on Dallas, although they're not going to score near that against the Niners. If you get 24 on the Niners, you had a good game. So all I know is the Niners just explode on you. And they beat Dallas like 49-0, and they beat Philly. They got like 40 points. So when Philly goes, they score a ton. So I do like the over in that game. And you got 11-mile-an-hour winds. I think Detroit wins, but I don't trust Goff. But they seem very emotional, like a college team. They seem like Notre Dame coming out of the tunnel, and touchdown Jesus is there, and they get all excited. And I was watching today where Stafford called out the guy who hurt his Higbee, the tight end, with the cheap shot. He hit him with the helmet on his knee and took out his ACL and MCL, and Stafford called him a motherfucker, like dirty player. Like, you hit him in the knee. Like, you don't do that. You don't hit a guy in the knee. You hit him like in the shin or in the hips or wherever you hit him. That's safe. You don't hurt the guy. But the Lions are now playing cheap ball. So it's like Notre Dame playing, I don't know, who's Tampa Bay, like Maryland. So it's like Notre Dame playing Maryland. Tampa Bay, I don't give them a whole lot of chance here. I think Detroit wins emotionally. The marching band will be there and win one for the Gipper. So I think that's what Detroit is, and then this will be their last game. The Niners will kill them. And so 27-17 Detroit. And I noticed nobody's betting Detroit. And then we got KC Buffalo, where obviously you got just take the dog in the game. This is Oklahoma, Texas, Oregon, Washington. Take the dog in the points. Only this time you got Mahomes. So I don't know what you're looking at that you don't think Mahomes is any good this year versus last. 27-14. He doesn't have the receivers, and they're running Pacheco more. I don't see a difference in Mahomes. If he hits the guy in the numbers and he can't catch the ball, you want to blame Mahomes on that because Tony can't catch a fucking ball? I don't know. What game we're watching here. We're watching different games. I got no problem with Mahomes as a dog. It's like taking Brady as a dog. You told me every time you see Brady as a dog, you bet him. And it's the same thing. Every time I saw Montana as the dog, every time I see Brady as a dog, and every time I see Mahomes or Burrow as a dog. Burrow as a dog is just as deadly as Mahomes as a dog. These type of quarterbacks as a dog, it's a personal challenge. You're disrespecting them. You're going, they're better than you. And they're like, oh, really? Okay. I've only won 2 Super Bowls, and you still want to disrespect me. That's how they look at it. They take it personally. And Josh Allen's going to choke because he's like, oh, shit, we're favored. They're going to be mad. We're favored. That's how Josh Allen's looking at it. Oh, my God, we're favored? Really? So keep that in mind. So if you think Buffalo's winning by 10, Nick, you're not learning as much as I thought you would. Better defense, better quarterback. Those are the keys to winning is the quarterback and the defense. Kansas City's better than Buffalo in both areas. Tampa's got the better defense. Detroit with the better quarterback. The Niners are better in both areas. Better defense, better quarterback. In Baltimore, it's kind of a toss-up. Baltimore, the better defense, but not the better. Well, the quarterbacks, we don't know. This is the problem with a guy like Stroud. You don't know what he's like. Baltimore should attack him, and then you'll see the real Stroud. And again, he's not at home playing Cleveland and Joe Flacco, who's 45 years old. He's at Baltimore on grass playing Lamar in the cold. So you're getting a different player. It's like the Green Bay game. They're not at Dallas. They're at San Francisco. It's a huge difference. In a teaser, Tampa Bay is 15-3. Baltimore is 14-3. Kansas City bet against is 15-3, but they won last week. And if you bet against them, you lost. So a little bit different. I think 15-3 against is mostly them laying 10 and then not covering it, not as a dog. They're probably 2-0 as a dog the last 5 years. I mean, they're not a dog often. Because I know you get them against Buffalo, even at Cincinnati, and they'd be favored. And you're like, fuck, I wanted to take them, and they're favored. So, okay, I'll take Joe Burrow. But all the Cincinnati games, they've been favored, and Burrow has won 3 of them. We just missed Burrow here. So it should be Baltimore, Cincy, and KC Buffalo. is what should happen here. Green Bay, I mean, the NFC is all like, where did Philadelphia go? What is going on there? When you got Matt Patricia as your defensive coordinator, I don't think you have to say anything more. Do you fire the coach? Now, the coach got you to the Super Bowl, and then he got you to the toilet bowl. So what do you do with this coach? I mean, theoretically, what did he do? Was it him or the coordinators? And this is where I'm getting into, do you even need or hire a head coach? What's the point? It's all the coordinators, right? Philly's got a good offensive and defensive coordinator last year. They go to the Super Bowl. This year, both coordinators suck. They go 10-1 and end up 11-5 or 11-6. And lose to fucking Tampa Bay, and they lose 32-9 to Tampa Bay. I mean, is it the head coach? Well, no. It's my coordinators. Well, you can't be your coordinators. You should hire better coordinators. You got to the Super Bowl, and I think Nick, you picked Philadelphia in that one too, and Mahomes won it. So don't short play Mahomes, please. It's not how you bet. You bet on the man. You bet Mahomes, you bet Burrow. And in the NFC, we're thinking, do we bet Purdy? We can't bet Goff or Mayfield, and we can't bet Love yet. Maybe we can, but not yet. And that's the thing. Don't push it. Love, okay, beat Dallas. Great. Now he's got the Niners. Let's see what he does. Now, he looked good when he beat the Lions Thanksgiving. So he's been playing at a high level. I think they showed a stat. He was like 18 touchdowns and 1 pick since they beat the Lions Thanksgiving. So they are playing better. No problem about it. But who have they really played? So Dallas was a good team. And that's the problem with the league. There's so many bad teams that when you do win 5 or 6 in a row and you look, wow, it was Carolina, it was Washington, the Giants. Like everybody's sitting there with Dallas. Oh, look at they're 8-0 at home. And who'd they beat? The Giants, Carolina, the Jets, Washington. You're like, yeah, I guess they didn't really, beat anybody, but they're trying to give them credit for beating Washington, Carolina, and the Giants. You got to be fucking kidding me. Now, if they would have played like they played the Giants and the Jets against Green Bay, then they would have won. But they didn't. They didn't bring it, and that's the problem. Bobby Bo, what's going on? Yeah, avocado. I just finished. Had a salad, and I've got chicken I bought at the grocery store. It's already made. I just pulled the skin off of it and eat it. I got salmon for dinner, and I got a little bit more chicken. So yeah, I went to the grocery store yesterday. I was out of dark chocolate, and I had a chocolate craving, and I'd rather have dark chocolate than M&Ms. So went and got more dark chocolate. Anyway, so I'll recap what's going on, Bobby. So game 1, we got Baltimore 31-20 over Houston. We've got Stroud against Lamar, 18-mile-an-hour win, 14-mile-an-hour winds in Buffalo, and 25. So it's not bad weather, considering KC won in 35 below weather. Nick seems to think Mahomes isn't playing that well, and I told him it's Mahomes. Like, don't worry about it. So those are the 4 plays. The pick is KC plus 8.5. Like Burrow, you get him as a dog. You got to play him. So what's going on, Bobby Bo? Have you checked out my economics videos? So what I'm doing is I'm listening to these morons who don't understand what inflation is. So I did an inflation video saying this is what inflation is. It is the increase in money supply. It is not prices. And I'm trying to spell it out. So I'm doing some short, it was an hour video, but I'm doing specific economics videos. And then instead of doing 2 hours of football and an hour and a half of economics. I'm doing the 2 hours of football and then the hour and a half of economics, strictly economics in the other window. So there's a few topics I wanted to single out because the morons are just so fucking clueless of what's really going on. I'm over here eating lunch at Drew Brees. Say hi to Drew for me. What's he doing in Tampa? Does he ask him if he's got gold, Bobby, or does he need to talk to me about it? That's cool. I didn't know he had a restaurant. What kind of restaurant is it? Barbecue? Say hi to Drew for us. Tell him the professor says hi. But you're gonna have to train him on gold. You better have gold, or you can't eat at the restaurant anymore. So let me know what type of restaurant it is. And is he there? Is he like? Are you like talking to him? That'd be kind of neat. All right. So what else can we say about these games? Best defenses are KC, Buffalo, Frisco, and Baltimore. That's why they're the 1 seed. That's what you need. That's what wins the game is the defense. It doesn't matter how good their offense is. Right? So that's really the key. If we look at last week, Houston had a better defense than Cleveland. KC had a better defense than Miami. Pitt and Buffalo were even. Dallas actually had the better defense over Green Bay. And Green Bay you can get excited about, but by the way, they gave up 32 points. So this is going to be pretty high scoring, this Frisco game. Now the Rams actually had the better defense over Detroit, and basically it was 24-23 in Philly. So most of the time the better defense wins. The only time, LA lost by a point, and that was a tease the dog game. I had the Rams and 9, and then the free pick was over 45, which we did get with a bunch of field goals in the second half. See, that's what bothers me about the Lions is 21-17 at half, and they end with 24. Where was Goff? Where did he disappear to? And even LA, though, was 17, got 2 field goals. So there's only 3 field goals. You're like, what the fuck happened in the second half? Because they had scored so much. So enter Baltimore and Frisco. This should be I think Frisco takes care of business better than Baltimore does. I think this Houston game is going to give them trouble. But we're not. They've been scoring a lot. That's why I would not have rested Mahomes or Lamar that 2 weeks ago. It's all timing. It's all rhythm. It's sort of like batting, right, Bobby? Like you hit batting practice to get your timing down. And if you miss batting practice for 3 weeks, you're not going to hit the ball, right? You're just going to go up there. Your timing's off. Or golf. I can't play golf and then take a week off and then go and try to figure out how to hit the ball. It's impossible. So I dive dog. But I don't know that they can stop Baltimore once they get rolling because they've been explosive. Green Bay Niners should be a good game. Probably the best one of the week, KC Buffalo, then Green Bay and the Niners. Tampa and Detroit. What is that? A high school game? That's like Purdue playing Iowa State in a bowl game. Is this Tampa Bay Detroit here? Unbelievable. So that's the one game that doesn't belong. You know, it's find the object that doesn't belong. Yeah, the Lions, Tampa doesn't belong there. Anyway, and McCarthy's staying in. Are you kidding me? Vrabel's out, and then I saw this Mayo guy at New England's new coach. Is he only the coach because he's African or because I've never heard of him coach before? He was a good player. He was a linebacker at Tennessee. He was good. And for the New England, he played okay 10 years ago. I don't think he's ever been a head coach, and I'm not sure he's a head coach for any reason besides if he's an African. So I don't, Does he have a coaching record? I don't know. So this would be interesting. If I was Dallas, who I'd really get at? That would be my point. I'd go after him. I'd go after the Washington coach. Some of these, I'd stay away from the Oregon coach. He likes fourth down too much. But that would be interesting. Nick Saban to Dallas would be a very good move for Dallas if you could get him. But Jerry Jones could get him. Or Jimmy Johnson would help. I don't know. But give him 2 years at the Cowboys, then go retire. That would be very interesting. Otherwise, a lot of these, I hate when they hire these coaches with no experience or their coordinators. Doing hiring these, so you'll fire them in a year and a half anyway. You give these guys 2 years and they get like Matt Patricia. You hired him, why? Because he was on New England, but all the defensive coordinators suck on New England because Bill Belichick's the defensive coordinator. And Bill Belichick only won because he had Brady. So why would you want Bill Belichick? He's the GOAT, 5 Super Bowls. No, he's the GOAT because Brady won him 5 Super Bowls. Not because of him. He had nothing to do with it. Brady won those games. Brady moves to Tampa. He wins a Super Bowl. New England can't even make the playoffs. They won, 4 games this year? They don't even know how to draft. Mac Jones, and then they keep playing him. Then they got Zappy, who I like, but what are you doing? So you want Belichick? Why would you want Belichick? Saw Breeze briefly on my way out. He was leaving. They sell Cajun and American food. I had some gumbo, now eating a chicken wrap. By the way, just seeing that Jerry Jones was deciding to keep Mike. Well, I just said that I think he should go after Nick Saban. He's available, right? Urban Meyer quit Florida and retired as Ohio State's coach. So I'm not sure if I have Dallas, that's the perfect hire is Nick Saban. Nobody can bitch at it. And it would be good, and he'd get to coach Dallas, although he would have Dak Prescott, so he'd probably want to bring in Milrose instead. That would be a very interesting coach. Anything's better than McCarthy. I don't know what you're looking at with McCarthy, what you see in McCarthy that you think he's any good. And by the way, yeah, I know. I heard that this morning. Does Breeze have gold? Did you get the real answer? Yeah, I know what you're talking, Mike McCarthy. Does Breeze have gold? Did you talk to him at least about that? Like he should have the gold, right? So get down to business, Bobby. When you get a guy like that, you got to ask him. So we got to keep these coaching changes. Who's Oakland's coach going to be? Who's San Diego's coach going to be? Who's New England? New England, I don't like their coach. Again, he's got to prove it. Why would you not take a coach that's coached before? I don't get it. I'm surprised Miami will keep their coach. What else is there? I mean, if we go through, Buffalo really should fire their coach. Green Bay's coach. They're all from the Shanahan tree. I love that. Yeah, Dallas needs to fire their coach. I like the Rams. Detroit needs to fire their coach. Philly, did they fire their coach yet? Or no, they still up in the air. Tampa needs to fire their coach. He's terrible. And then we'll see. Let's see. Let's go down the list. Minnesota, yeah, they could use a new. Chicago needs to fire theirs. Jacksonville, their coach is terrible. Tennessee, I don't know. Why would you get rid of Vrabel? He's a good fucking coach. Indy's got the Philadelphia offensive coordinator. Okay. Denver, we like Sean Payton. Oakland, they need a new coach. The JETSs, I like their coach, Salah. New England's got a new one. Atlanta fired theirs, I believe. New Orleans, did they fire theirs? They need to. Philly, you'll fire theirs. The Giants, they should. It doesn't. They're like the worst at picking coaches. Oh my god, these teams have no idea how to pick a coach. Oh yeah, Coach Pete's out at Seattle. What the fuck? Dallas should get Coach Pete. He's the best coach in the league. Fuck, how do you not grab Coach Pete? Arizona, they need a coach. San Diego fired theirs. Washington, I think they fired their coach. Tampa Bay needs one. Carolina needs, they fired theirs. So there's about, there'll be about 10 coaches. And the problem is they'll hire 10 idiots and they'll last a year and then they'll be firing them again. I keep a track every year. There's at least 7 coaches fired. The problem is then who do you hire? And you hire a bunch of idiots and you're done with it. Bobby Bo. With Drew? Well, ask him. Oh, yeah, you got his WhatsApp. Ask him about cold. Tell him to talk to me if he needs help understanding it. All right, well, next time. Well, just WhatsApp him. Just send him a little gold coin. He'll get the idea. So why is he in the restaurant business? So he can lose all his money? I love when these guys, does he know anything about the restaurant business? He knows how to quarterback. Should be a quarterback coach. Yeah, it's crazy how Todd Bowles can say that he's been to the playoffs his first 2 years, but they have been a 500 team in his 2 seasons. Yeah, it's because you're in it's like Detroit, right? You're in a terrible division and the teams suck and you just happen to be the best team. And the only reason the Lions are in the playoffs, they had the easiest schedule in the history of life. It was like Michigan's schedule. They played nobody. And that's how the Lions, they played the couple of teams that were any good, Seattle, Baltimore, then they lose to the Bears and the Packers, and you want to think that's good? So the one team they played, Baltimore and Dallas, they lost to, and now we see Dallas isn't even that good. So it's a shitty league, and they're in shitty divisions, and somebody's got to win the division. So yeah, I'm not impressed in that division. Him going 8-9 and 9-8. So I did talk to Daria today. I was very happy. I didn't hear from him for 3 days, Bobby, and then I can see she's struggling on one day she's on at 10 in the morning and that's it for WhatsApp, which is unusual because if she's working, she's on all day checking her daughter. And so I said to her, being stoic and being the professor, I said to her, if you can't use WhatsApp, send me an email so I know everything's okay. So today in the morning, I get an email and, I'm fine. The daughter's fine, but my WhatsApp isn't working and I haven't received your messages. So she must have freaked out like I freak out when I don't hear from her for 3 days. So she doesn't hear. So she's not getting my messages. She must be losing her mind because I text her every day. Okay, I'm in class now. I'm at swim. I'm making dinner. I show her the dinner and she loves that. She loves that I am with her. And it's hard for me to go 3 days without hearing from her. I go, what the fuck? Why, text me. What's going on? So she said, I haven't been getting your text. She must have freaked out. So she says, oh, I miss you. I love you and everything. So she did email me twice because it was Russian. So I knew it was her. And she's saying, I'm going to go tomorrow and check out WhatsApp on my phone, why it's not working. Now, I told her mine is, and obviously yours is, but I said, try uninstalling it and reinstalling it. Maybe that'll work. But I don't know if it's her phone. I don't know if Russia is taking WhatsApp down because, you can contact the West with it. The worst case, we'll just email each other. But WhatsApp's better. I can say things. I can do a lot more on WhatsApp. I can take a picture and send it right to her versus trying to email and then even knowing when she emailed me. So she did email me. She's fine. So I'm calm today. yesterday I was going nuts. And that's the problem. Like if there is a problem, with their internet, she can't tell me. So I don't know what's going on. So I said, well, let me know. So hopefully we'll get it fixed tomorrow. But she had problems with it last week. And then she got it back. And now, again, she said it's probably the weather. Who knows with the Russians if they don't want anybody speaking to the West. I don't know. Because Jenna's not having problems in the Ukraine with it. Anyway, it's just funny how just hearing from your girl makes you so happy or so sad if you don't hear from them. So that's all set. So she is okay. So, being in Russia, it's hard. Anyway, so are you watching the economic videos? I'll do one after class today. It's a short week because we've got only 4 games to go at versus all the college games and all the pro games. So to recap, your free game is Kansas City plus 8.5 with Mahomes. I got Baltimore 31-20. I think they'll have a slow start because Lamar's been sitting out for 3 weeks. I got the Niners 34-24. The difference is, of course, McCaffrey and Purdy and Deebo Samuels and Kittle versus Dallas, who basically has no quarterback, no running back, and CeeDee Lamb, and no coach. So I got the Niners 34-24. So I like that game over. I like Baltimore probably over. And then we've got Detroit 27-17 against Tampa. I just don't think Tampa's got the offense. And Detroit plays like they're Notre Dame. They get all emotional. So they play like a college team. They look like a college team too. So I got them 27-17. And I got KC 23-20 over Buffalo. I think they beat Buffalo in a very close game. I'm checking the weather. Buffalo 14-mile-an-hour winds, but in the 20s. Detroit's a dome. The Niners 11-mile-an-hour winds in the 60s. And Baltimore 18-mile-an-hour winds. Came down from 22-23, where I thought I couldn't play the over. Now at 18, seems like, and here it got mild. Here it was very cold the last 3 or 4 days. And today it's very mild out. The snow's melting a little bit. So I think that's headed to Baltimore. So I think it'll be a little more mild and it's not windy at all outside. So I think the wind comes down. So I think it goes over. What do we take out of Houston, Cleveland? I have no idea. The game's not in Houston, and they're playing Baltimore, not Cleveland. That's the biggest thing you have to remember. It's a different game. It's a different place. They're playing a different team. You can't say, oh, look what they did to Cleveland. They'll do it to Baltimore, or Green Bay beating Dallas, now going and beating Frisco. It's until they prove it, they haven't. So we go with Mahomes because he's proven it, right? And that's about it. So that's today. Injuries. Let's look at injuries. If we look at injuries, so we've got Baltimore's clean. Houston, Stroud and Singletary and Collins are fine. Woods and Metzi are questionable, but I'm sure they're going to play. Green Bay, Frisco. Frisco's healthy. Only now Jaden Reed's questionable. Before it was Jones and Watson. Now it's only Jaden Reed, and I'm sure he'll play. But everybody else is good to go. Detroit, Tampa, everybody in Detroit's good. Tampa, Godwin's questionable. Everybody else is good to go. And in KC, Buffalo, Mahomes and Allen are fine. Pacheco and Cook are fine. We got Gabe Davis questionable for Buffalo and Tony for Kansas City, which I'm sure they'll play. And they're secondary receivers anyway. So that's really it. We'll keep an eye on the weather as we get closer. So the first game's Houston, Baltimore, and Green Bay, Frisco Saturday, and then Tampa, Detroit, KC, Buffalo. So the first game, is it on ESPN or ABC also? I hope it's on ABC also. I'm tired of these ESPN games because I don't get ESPN on my cable station. So, I'll watch a movie and watch the highlights and wait for the Green Bay Frisco game. So whatever they want to do, it's just pathetic and stupid to not show the game on regular TV where everybody can watch it. You don't want to lose viewers because you're doing that. McCaffrey is their best player. He's the real deal. Well, exactly. And Dallas with Pollard, he's terrible. He just close his eyes and run into the line. I hate running backs like that. And you had Prescott, so Dallas very inferior. And here you got a real quarterback and a real running back, and Deebo Samuel and Kittle. You got a real team here, not like Dallas. So Dallas fools themselves into thinking they're good. Their problem is Prescott, but they don't understand it. And then their problem is Pollard, and they don't understand their problem is Dak Prescott. Purdy looked good in the playoffs last year till he got hurt. Even in the Philadelphia game, it was 4 for 4 for 80 yards. So there's nothing you can do there. But let's look at. So again, it's Stroud and Lamar, Love and Purdy, Mayfield and Golf, and Mahomes and Allen. So Mahomes should win because he's Mahomes. And that's it. Anyway, I'll do a economics one shortly, and I'll just focus on, it's like a half hour, an hour, just focusing on like what is inflation, what is gold. I think today I'm going to do it on scams and Ponzi schemes and de-dollarization and whatever else I can think of. I did show videos. I don't know if you saw, Bobby, a couple of Egon and an alligator one. So those are in the videos. So watch those at least for those videos. Maybe I'll show alligator, and I wanted to show Mark McGuire in the video today. Maybe I'll get more detail on his, but that's where I'll put him. Where did I put? Any more questions on note-taking, Bobby Ball, for your classes? Let me know. Where's that? I don't know. So I'll try to throw some Mark McGuire video from last week. He had some good stuff. So right now I'm just taking notes and writing down 8:45, and I'll go right to it for 2 or 3 minutes. So let me know if you want to do that. And that's just temporarily explaining what is inflation. It's not prices. Explaining gold and Bitcoin and paper gold and all that shit. So I've done 2, and now this is the 3rd one. And that way this is inflation, this is economics, but in a 45-hour minute covering these specific topics. So gets right to the point, and we'll see how many I do, and then I'll come back to doing sports and economics together. But I wanted to get some of those in. Anyway, I guess that's it. So have a good day. Good luck on the weekend. Again, your free pick is Kansas City as a dog with Mr. Mahomes. And we've got we're waiting on the win in Baltimore. We like the Niner game to go high, and the Lions over Tampa, because Tampa really doesn't have a good offense or a good defense. So this will be interesting to see the Lions, but I can't trust Tampa, so I think it's Detroit even, and I really can't trust Goff either, but the Rams should have beat them. They got fucked, but what else is new in this league? Everybody gets fucked. The refs are so bad. So anyway, say hi to Drew for us, Bobby, and get him into gold, and I will talk to you. So I'll come on probably in the next 45 minutes with economics. Again, we're going to talk Ponzi schemes and banking and good stuff like that. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Good luck to you this weekend. All right, www.teaserking.com. All right, take care.